Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. This time we're going to be looking at an early access game on Steam. This is Dune Spice Wars. There really hasn't been a good Dune game for a while, at least not that I've been aware of, so I was kind of looking forward to this one. This is a strategy game which I think works best for Dune. It's just normally kind of fun to play Dune like that. Anyway, let's check out the introduction for this, and then I'll talk a little bit about probably the biggest issue I have with this.
The board is set. The native Fremen dream of creating a green Arrakis, while the Baron Harkonnen wants to paint it red. Smugglers who above all desire profit by turning the tables. The noble Atreides, bound by the whims of the Emperor, are blinded by their honor. The board is set. The Spice War begins.
Okay, so I'm glad the game exists. I like some of what they showed, but overall, like the characters, I'm not a fan of the art style that they went with those characters. It just doesn't really feel right when I play a Dune game. It's kind of hard to put my finger on it, but they sort of feel a bit too cartoonish, if that makes any sense. Now, I do like something that they did. They got rid of, so if you played a lot of the other games, you might know like House Ordos was around. They got rid of them and they replaced them with Fremen and with like the mercenaries or the traders, or yeah, I think they're like the Traders Guild. Sorry, I only played Atreides and the Fremen when I was trying this out. So yeah, I like that they added in those two, but I always felt like the Fremen were more tied to House Atreides, and they probably could have brought in like the Talaxu or something. Or yeah, they could have brought in like another house instead of bringing like the Fremen as their own faction. That's just one of my pet peeves. Anyway, let's start talking about the game here. It's got a pretty good art style for the game mode. Like once you get away from like actually looking at the characters and everything, I think it looks pretty good. Instead of having like a fog of war, they have a sandstorm that's surrounding you, which I really like. It works well with what's going on Arrakis. And I like the fact that when you move your ornithopter over there, it kind of clears out the area for you. It's a nice touch. I like the way that they did that. This is kind of a different strategy game from what I enjoy playing. This is more of like a point of control for regions and that kind of thing. So when you uncover a region, you might see some resources there, and you might find like some areas for investigation. Your ornithopter, that's going to be fun to talk about during this whole thing. One of the weird things about Dune is they like to add in words that just sometimes they annoy me. So the ornithopter will find like different areas that it wants to explore, and it can kind of do that on its own, which I like. And it'll find like a village. I haven't found a region in this that doesn't have a village, so that's kind of been nice. And in order to take over those different regions, you need to train your soldiers, move them over, and occupy the village. It actually feels somewhat in character for the Fremen in some way. So like they're moving out there and they're attacking like different Fremen tribes. I guess it almost makes more sense I should backtrack a little bit. It actually makes more sense for the Atreides and the Harkonnen to do this, but it makes the most sense for the Harkonnen to do it this way. With the Atreides, I would have figured they would go out there and do more negotiation, because that was kind of following the book a little bit more. With the Fremen, I can kind of understand it, because maybe they're attacking like some like rivalries and whatnot. And I guess with like the merchants, I should really look up what they are. 1 second. Sorry about that. It's the smugglers. Don't know why I was struggling with that so much. I apologize for that. For the smugglers, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for them to go around and occupy other like villages. At least it doesn't for me. I don't understand what their real motivation as a faction is. It's very weird. I get they're trying to they might be trying to work around like the around Chom, the people who control all the spice and everything, like the spice guilds. But I'm not sure why they're like capturing territory and holding that in this. That's when I think they probably could have, maybe swapped them out with another faction. Because there are other factions mentioned in this. They could have gone with like anything. Hell, even the Bene Gesserit would have been a better suggestion than having just smugglers in here. I think they could have brought in more of the lore, is what I'm probably trying to say. Because right now, you've got kind of like a thin story that's going on. Obviously, it's early access. They haven't brought everything in yet. But it feels like there should have been more. For the two factions that I played so far, I'm not really seeing like a huge difference between them. Both the Atreides and the Fremen kind of felt very similar. I haven't really gotten a chance to dig too deep into the tech tree or kind of really learn a lot of the other weird stuff that's going on in this game that feels a tad underdeveloped. It's strange. If I go in and I play like the Harkonnen or the smugglers and they kind of feel like they have the same characters and everything, they have the same military units, then I think this will probably be a bit disappointing. But right now, I'm somewhat happy with where they are. Obviously, it still needs to have some work done on it. But I think like the map and everything looks great. I think the music is nice. I don't like the characters that much, but I'm glad they're kind of kept to the side. I think the diplomacy is a little threadbare right now. It's very, very odd. Some of the things that pop up, like the missions, they don't really make a whole lot of sense. Right now, the way that the buildings work is when you take control of a village, you can then add on a few buildings. So, like wind traps, the harvesting place, the spice ice refinery. Jesus. It's a bit early, sorry about that. You can build those. You can build like a few military like installations that don't really seem to do a whole lot. Maybe it's because I wasn't really attacked very much, so the missile battery didn't come into play. The recruitment office seems to add more manpower for you, but like the military base, I haven't really seen anything different out of that. It might unlock like another unit, but I didn't really see anything beyond the 3 that I could actually recruit, and that might have been a resource issue. It's just, right now there's not a whole lot of meat on the bones, and the meat that's there is kind of confusing and weird. So it's, right now I think it's good. It's not worth the price though at the moment, because it's $30, and I think for $30 I would have expected a bit more than what I've got. I'm still going to keep playing it because I do enjoy the setting, I enjoy the lore of Dune, I enjoy a lot of the stuff about the books, even though they get kind of weird at the end, but fair enough. I think they've got a very good story here, It's a fun game so far, but I don't think it's really worth the price at the moment. I am looking forward to seeing what else they do with this game because I think there's still a lot of potential here. There's not really much of a story at the moment, so they could add one of those in. They could probably fix some of the kind of rougher edges that are around it, and they could just generally make it a lot better. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap things up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're a fan of Dune, I would really love to hear from you because I really enjoy them. I don't really enjoy the movies, but I really enjoy the books. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. If you like what you saw, please consider subscribing, and have a great day, everybody. Bye.